Hey guys, this is Steven. I recently posted on a popular Commander Facebook group a big picture of my bookcase full of decks. I'm going to try and I'm just going to spitball it. I'm going to go through my alphabet. I've got my A's here. We're just going through A's today, not too many. Actually, I realized I had a lot more A's than I normally would, I think. I don't know. Got my wine just in case. And I've obviously never done this before, so let's try to get a good thing going on here. All right, so I'm gonna go through each of the A's I have today and sort of talk about the Commander, the power level of it, any themes that go in it, key cards, and probably new entries from like new sets. I've already mentioned in the comments of those photo that I only have a really select few that I really like that I try to add more to. If I tried to add new cards for a lot of them, I'd be spending a lot of money, so let's not worry about that. So we're gonna go with, deck one, Aetherios. This is old Aetherios, God of Passage. Let's find a center here, sorry. There he is. As long as your devotion to white and black is less than 7, he isn't a creature. 5/4 indestructible, 3-drop enchantment creature god. Whenever another creature you own dies, return it to your hand unless target opponent pays 3 life. So this one I know I have as a, it's cleric tribal, cleric/human tribal. The general idea of it is to get my humans on the board, my clerics on the board, let them die. Whenever another cleric is put into a graveyard, put a 2/2 zombie. So if they die and then they trigger off of Aetherios, and I don't really care if you pay 3 life or not, I'm gonna get a zombie. He'll bring them back if you decide to let them go to the graveyard. This guy makes a zombie. Yeah, it's just cleric tribal. Nothing crazy. I gotta work out this angle here. I don't really know what I'm doing. Just basic generic black-white. The good stuff. Sorry if there's any glare. I know that most of my decks are in the Ultra Pro, I can't remember what they're called, Eclipse. Before they were bad. I think the 80 packs were really good quality, and when they went to 100 packs, they dropped down in quality, so I switched to Dragon Shields. So just black, white, good stuff. I don't know why I have a Dark Depths in here, but whatever. I haven't really played this deck in a long time. It's not really fun. It's probably one of my higher power ones. I do have newest editions here. I've got Teysa Karlov. Obviously tokens are being made from my other guys. Smothering Tides, you have to put it in anything with white because I want to get that mana. I really like this card. I like doubling my life and halving an opponent. And that's Aetherios. I would say Aetherios is probably 7 out of 10, I think. If I get a good rhythm going with it and I just keep pumping out zombies and draining life and stuff like that. It's not really, once you get a lock on, there's not really much they can do. My play group is notoriously bad at removing enchantments. So having an indestructible enchantment is pretty good. Now let's see for the next one if I can find a good center. I've got, let's do a fun one. Adeliz. Yes, all my decks are in boulders, except I got a couple in the new Dragon Shield ones like this one. We'll get to that in a second. So, okay, Adelies, the Cinder Wind. Flying Haste 2/2, 3-drop. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, wizards you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Don't really care about that. I do like that she herself has haste. I'm not doing a lot of wizard tribal pumping here. There was just a really cool interaction in this deck. Let's see if I can find it real quick. It's a spell that lets me target cards in graveyards. I'll go a little slow here just so you can see what's in it. Obviously there is a wizard sub theme here. I think bonus round is a key card in here. Obviously is it good stuff? I'm a big sucker for this kind of card. Obviously I'm not playing a super intense play group. I can get away with things like this. There it is. Spellweaver Volute. Let's see if there's anything else in this pile. Nothing crazy. So this one, it's a 3 and 2 blue enchantment aura. You have to enchant an instant card in a graveyard. Whenever you play a sorcery spell, copy the enchanted instant card. You may play the copy without paying its mana cost. If you do, remove the enchanted card from the game and attach Spellweaver Volute to another instant card in the graveyard. So I do know that I have a lot more sorceries in the deck, as you would usually have. Obviously, I've got a lot of instants as well. But I like attaching this to the instant cards that I've already played or to my opponent's instance cards because they cast a lot of them. And I can copy them and get more value out of them. I think bonus round is one of the cards I used to sort of storm. I obviously don't play storm. It's just value. This isn't a very strong deck. This I'd call like 3 or 4 out of 10. It's just for fun. I mean, if you're playing Is It and you want to win, well, I guess that's a kind of a try-hard card. This one doesn't have a lot. I see War of the Spark. I don't think I have anything newer than that in here. Wait, is that? No. I guess I got an Isochron Scepter in here. That's probably one of the win cons. Get a lot of mana going. Yeah, I don't really have, as you can see, I don't really have a lot of wizards in here. But I guess if I do get enough wizards on the battlefield, I can chain off with this and this and sort of get a big pump on my wizards. I think I thought I had a token maker in here. Oops. What are these, Dragon Shields? Yeah. When you buy Dragon Shields, try to get the non-glossy ones, the matte ones. They don't slip around so much. Crackling Drake is almost a win con when you have this many spells. Yeah, not too many. I thought I had a... Well, like I said, this is just one that you want to play for fun. Nothing crazy. Don't worry, you'll see the other ones when you get to that letter. This is just A. That's Adelies. Like I said, 3 or 4 out of 10. Nothing crazy. Can you even call any deck a 1 or a 2 out of 10? Not really. Let's go with a fun one. This is a new one. Atris. Atris the what? Oracle of Half-Truths. 4-drop. 2 in Dimir. Menace 3/2. When he enters the battlefield, target opponent looks at the top 3 cards of your library and separates them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. Put one pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. So with this one, all I really care about, I don't really, like, I love doing the mind games with people. I like to test their knowledge and see what they want to put face up, face down. I don't really care because generally I'll put the bigger pile in the graveyard because I want to pump my graveyard. I've got cards like Sir Conrad that cares about things going to the graveyard. I eventually want to get Gray Merchant in the graveyard because, as you can see here, or on the battlefield really, as you can see here, I've got lots of, what are they called? Clones. So basically the idea is get a Gray Merchant out and clone him a bunch of times, get a bunch of drains. If he's in the graveyard, Twilight's Call, Living Death. I'm sure you've all seen that. New card, I mean, obviously, Atris is from Theros, new Theros. So I've got the new cards that I think would be pretty good in it. This one lets me draw 3 cards, discard 2 cards. One can be Gray Merchant, Living Death and back. General good Dimir graveyard stuff. Lots of blood for bones kind of stuff. Reanimation. Fuel my graveyard. Fuel my graveyard. He's really fun though, actually. Power level, I mean, he can win out of nowhere. I don't think I've lost with this one yet. Just because people don't really know how to play him. Just good stuff. Everyone always laughs when I play this. Flying 3/4. They're like, oh, I guess that's cheap for a flying 3/4, but I'm like, I don't really care about that. I just want to put more cards in my graveyard. Cauldron's really good. As you can see, with a deck like this, I'm just running basics. Like, I don't need to be fast with this kind of deck. It plays the long game anyways. This is just a for fun card. Yeah, that's it. It's not that bad. You're probably going to be seeing a lot of Gray Merchant. Let's just put it that way. Black is my favorite color. That is Atris. Let's go with Atris. Let's go with a decently powerful one. I don't remember what the budget was for this one. Oh, did I do a power level on Atris? It doesn't really matter. Not very high. 4 or 5. Animar. Can you guess? Blue, red, green. Pro white, pro black. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on him. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter on him. Yes, morph, obviously. But what was the budget? It's decent morph. Don't really play it a lot. Actually, I only think I've played it like twice. I guess I'll give you a little story here. Try to run cards like this. Generally, a lot of play groups have God cards these days, especially recently. Choose target artifact or enchantment, shuffle it in their library. So it's removal for indestructible. I know a lot of us don't run like Exile. We should be running more. So look for cards like this and De-Glamour. I probably got one in here too. What the heck? This is great. This is probably one of the key cards in the deck. I morph. Obviously, you get Animar to a level where your morphs are free. And then I just pay 1 and I return creatures to my opponent's hands. Swing in. That's probably one of the newer ones. Mine as well. I think, yeah, obviously I have a lot of abilities where I can use mana to flip them. That's why I have Wilderness Reclamation. Yes, I remember this is one of my more budget ones. What else I got in here? So there's going to be a lot of decks where I'm not very familiar with it because I have like the picture only showed 166 or something like that, and I have like probably 170. I have 4 that I keep in separate containers. Don't remember where I was going with that. Oh yeah, well that's why I need to remember how to play these ones. When you're cycling through a lot of decks, you tend to be like looking through the deck when you're starting it again, and you're like, oh, what was this one again? There you go, Deglamour. Those types of effects are really awesome when you're playing against gods or indestructible artifacts or enchantments. They never really expect something like this. Yeah, it's just generic morph. I kind of not a fan of it, but I'm not going to disassemble it because there's not really what am I going to use these morph cards with, right? Might as well just keep it. Never going to update this deck probably. Ixodron key card. I can flip my morphs that I've already flipped over, and he becomes a big beater. And when you flip your opponent's commanders, they are upset and they need to like remove them themselves. So generic Animorph, not crazy. I don't like to do any like flip locks with will benders and stuff like that. I'm more of a fun kind of player. Oh man, I can tell this is gonna be a really long video. Let's go with Achroma. Achroma Angel of Wrath. I think when I built this, I just really wanted to do a big white flying only deck, something like that. 5 and 3 white for a 6/6 flying. First strike, vigilance, trample, haste, pro black, pro red, angel. Probably I have the best art of it, in my opinion. What else we got here? I'm pretty sure this one is just like set up a bit of a wall and beat away with a big Achroma. Yeah, it's got angels, flyers. What is this, eclipses? Yeah. You can tell it's one of my older ones when it has eclipses. That's fairly new. No, not really. Ooh. What is this card now? 30 bucks? More? Yeah, set up a wall, play some taxes. My favorite lands to get were these Amonkhet lands because they're cheap. If it wasn't these ones available, I would get BFZ. But now I'm really tempted with all the Theros lands. I know a lot of people don't like them. Sorry about any glare. You're not going to get as much glare with the Dragon Shields. Yeah, it just looks like big white beaters. That's probably one of the newer ones, Smothering Tithe. Like I said, white needs ramp. And you know what? Playing with this many decks is kind of fun because it's new experience for me almost every time I play, because I remember how the deck is played. By the time I'm, oh, there's an Ixalos. By the time I'm on turn 4 or 5, I kind of know what I'm doing. Yeah, mono white, good stuff. Ooh. Oketra. Don't worry, we have an Oketra deck too, but that's not until letter O. Okay, yeah. Big white good stuff. Girdle around until you get a chroma out. Beat away. I think this one actually has a pretty good win rate too, but low power, as you can see. It is mono white. It can sometimes catch people off of guard. I would say 4 or 5 out of 10 for power level. Who's next? A really fun one, Arcades. I guess I'll just hold it up like this so you can read it. Pause if you need to. It's Wall Tribal. This one I've been thinking about trying to update. Walls are notoriously, like, they're great, but if I get board wiped, it's not good. So the idea is to get a bunch of walls and do these types of board wipes where they rely on power, so your walls live and all of your opponent's creatures die, and then you can hit away, no problem. Teo, I believe, make a 0/3 wall. You have hexproof. Play all the walls that draw you cards. There's a lot of decent walls like this. I mean, I'll take a 13/13 for 4 with Arcades out. And then there's obviously a couple other ones. Blank walls, draw more cards. Cards like this helps me. Board wipes like this help me. Double my mana. I wonder if I have a big X spell. I don't know. I do have a recent edition in this one. I should probably take that all my decks and sell them. That's fairly new. I put Riptide Turtle in. 2-drop 5/5 flash is pretty good, so why not? Double draw cards. This is a great card. If you can, I'd suggest running this card more. I really love scrying at the beginning of my turn. And when I've got nothing better to do, paying green when I cast a creature spell is also good to draw a card. Meek Stone's great. You're gonna see a few Meek Stones in my lists. Oh, Heuristic Study. Drawing cards is great. What else we got here? Cards that care about low power, high toughness. Making them unblockable is good. There's my Soul Ring. Actually, let's see. It'll be nice to see how many of my decks have Soul Rings and Solemn Simulacrums. Those are the two main ones that basically go in everything, right? I guess that you could call this a win con. Yeah, making them all +5/+5. I only need to attack with 7, and that's not at one time. You can build it up. Oof, really. Yeah, so a lot of low power board wipes that open us up for attacks. This one, it can be pretty explosive, actually. I'll still put it in the 5 range, probably. Nothing crazy. The key to beating it, just kill him a bunch. Make me pay for it. But it's not bad. It's fun to draw a lot of cards, and that's what it does. I need to put, maybe I should put like a Jace in there to win. Or the new Oracle. What's next? Okay. Let's do this. So there was a time when all of my local stores ran out of the boulders, which is really annoying. So I had to settle with these ones. They're actually not bad. They're by Dragon Shield. They're cheap, but whatever they do. They fit in a spot on my bookshelf where boulders wouldn't fit, so it kind of worked out. So this is Angie. I think this one is generic madness / graveyard theme. There she is for you. Okay. Key cards in the deck, I believe, would be cards like Arcfiend of Ifnir and the Glinthorn Buccaneer, where I want to discard a bunch of cards, deal a bunch of damage, wipe the board with -1/-1 counters. I believe one of the newest cards I've put in is Cavalier Flame. Just because I think I had a shiny one sitting around and I was like, oh, I'm going to be discarding land cards, and why not? Anger, obviously, in any discard deck, graveyard deck. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this one is just generic madness, where you draw a bunch of cards, win with cards like this. Actually, that card's expensive. See, my generic used to be BFZ. Lately, I've been going with Theros if I can. I would say all my favorite decks have the, what is it, Unstable, I believe it is. The really fancy ones. Then I'll go with BFZ, Theros, and then if I have to resort to Amonkhet, I will. Really like this card, actually. I like being able to, if there's a problem artifact on the battlefield at any time, I can just get rid of it by dredging one. That's pretty cool, and it fills my graveyard. Here's another discard benefit. Just pay some mana. I think people become alerted to what I'm doing, so sort of putting this on their big guys and getting them to leave me alone for a while, that helps. Sorry, just pause if you have to read it. I have quite a bit to go through. Kind of wish they printed these in full art. That'd be kind of cool. I probably have a little bit of a vampire theme too, because they work so well with madness. Obviously, player of the deck, squee, discard them, bring them back. Free card draw, basically. I think I used to run Olivia as my madness commander until the new Angie came out. Or Anya, however people want to say it. I have a soft spot for big guys like Karavek. I haven't built a deck around him yet. I think Vile Smasher is a better version of him because he's so cheap. I love cheap commanders. My favorite commanders are probably 2 and 3 drops. But if I can put him in, I do it. Like I said, I don't have a crazy play group, so I can get away with things like that. Fill my graveyard, eventually do stuff like this. Ooh. A lot of these are going to be new to both of us because it's been a while. I thought I had some more big hitters. I love Patron of the Vein as a vampire. People never really expect it, that it destroys a creature when it comes in. Bone Miser new. Obviously it came in the same deck as Angie. Reverse, oh, what's the other one called? I cannot remember, but you know. Reverse that thing. And that's Angie. Generic madness. Pretty good deck. 5 or 6, I'd say. Nothing crazy. Again, that's not really what I'm looking for when I'm building a commander deck. There are people that you love to play hardball, win turn 5, which is fine. Fast games are always good too. But I like to play long game. Let's go with... Here's a fun one. Adamaro, probably never heard of him. Mono red. Adamaro, First to Desire. I'll read this one because he's pretty uncommon. 1 red. Legendary creature spirit, star. His power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in the hand of the opponent with the most cards in hand. If I'm playing a blue player at all, or has blue in the deck, I'm already happy. Generally, I'll get him out on turn 3. He's a 3 mana, 7/7, 6/6, something like that. And I think I put in ways to make him unblockable. What do we got here? Any mono red deck has to have Valakut. Give me my card draw in red. As long as you make a deal with someone, this is a great card. Oh yeah, okay, it's got stuff like this where he's generally pretty big. I think I have a lot of things that draw my opponent's cards in here. So using this ability, it's pretty good. I must have a Chandra's Ignition in here too. What the heck is this? Yeah, see? It's a 4-drop trample 6/6, but I don't really care about that because on my next upkeep, he's gonna sacrifice. And I want him to sacrifice. And my opponents can draw 3 cards. So keeping Adamaro big, that's what I want. And then since their hands are big, cards like this will deal damage to them. I think when I put Tybalt in here, I decided I wanted to put Tybalt in a deck. And why not this deck? Because he cares about cards in target player's hands. So 2-drop Planeswalker, unbeatable. He's big, get him swinging. I try to fit this in every mono red deck I can too. I love it when people say that they'll take the damage because it's just fun to watch them take like 12 when they're unlucky. He's pretty big, might as well make him a little bit bigger. Chaos Wand is a deck I recommend putting in a lot more stuff. It's actually really fun. There's good chaos and there's bad chaos. This is good chaos. Sorry, pause if you need to read stuff. There we go, Chandra's Ignition. Smoke, 2 mana enchantment. No player may untap more than 1 creature during his or her untap phase. Slow down combat a little bit. I'm not doing a lot of combat. I'm usually attacking with 1 creature or 2 creatures. So let's slow everyone else down. Get on my level. Love cards like this. Make them discard their hand and draw. If I'm keeping their hands full, let's get them wheeling. Sorry if I bumped the camera. I'm hoping that at some point, anybody with these decks sees a card that's new. Cards like Iron Maiden. I made a post before in the chat that I'm in on Facebook. And I said, when you're building a deck, try to think a little bit outside the box. A lot of people took that in a good way. A lot of people took that in a bad way. But just try to play cards that aren't normally played because the idea is having fun. And if you learn new cards and see new cards in games, it prevents the games from becoming stale. So cards like this, dealing 1 damage for each card, more than 4 in their hand. Obviously, I don't care if you play staples. I play staples, Soul Ring, Solemn, but other cards. Like you've heard of the Owl probably, but you haven't heard of Iron Maiden. So I'm trying to get everyone to draw cards, keep Adamaro big, give him trample, bop him in. You'll tell I really care about a deck when I have full art. And try to play decks where... I already lost my thought on that. Try to play decks where you're playing cards that you don't know. This deck's better than it has any right to be, probably. 5 or 6. Nothing crazy. Let's go with the Kitties. Arabo. I need more lighting. Sorry. I think you all know what this one does. What the? Oh. There's certain people in my play group, when they play my decks, they don't put them back in correctly. And it upsets me. Oh my gosh. Don't be the ones. Okay, well, we'll cross that bridge. Oh, I know who exactly played this deck. I hate that. You probably all have a guy like that. Or girl like that. Regular, regular, regular. Upside down. And as people get banned from playing my decks. Hold on. OCD. Okay. Let's hold on on that one. You've all seen the cat deck. I think at some point somebody's brought it in. Play the cats, get them big. That's a newer one. Best cat of all. You'll see that. You'll see this in any green tribal deck I have. I think I have a equipment sub theme, so Balan is actually really good. Soul Ring. There's gonna be people, since I posted a huge picture, that are gonna be like, you don't have Soul Ring and everything, which I don't. There's some decks that just don't need Soul Ring. There's gonna be some decks that I didn't care enough to put a Soul Ring in. You've all seen this one. Door of Destinies, tribal card. This one, you can do a lot of damage in combat, but sometimes things just get gunked up. So I have other win conditions. One of my favorite win conditions in white has been, ooh, foil, nice. One of my favorite win conditions, in white has been Approach of the Second Sun. So if I can't win with combat, which this deck can actually get through pretty well, a Rebel gives Trample when you get him on the board and do his second ability. Approach of the Second Sun, just in case. I can actually draw a lot of cards with this deck, and people never really expect it. I love putting a clock on people. I think it's fair. I'm playing a 7-minute spell, and I'm like, look, you've got 7 draws for me to win the game. So they've got time, but if I gunk up the board, I can block, and you can't win with anything other than combat damage, then I deserve the win, in my opinion. But I'll always tell people, like, you know what this card does. You'll never get surprised with this card. Let's see how many other of my decks in my pile are gonna have upside down cards. That's a Robo. 5 or 6. Nothing crazy. Okay, what's next? Let's go with a partner deck. Alphabetically, I'm only using it in this video because Akiri is first in the name. Akiri Timna. It's Mardu, It cares about artifacts. I think the idea with this is to get a lot of artifacts onto the battlefield, play a Kiri early, start swinging, get Timna down early. That's why I love 2 and 3 drop commanders. They work really well with each other. Draws me cards, which is hard to keep up with in Mardu. So it's probably just Mardu good stuff with artifacts. Whenever I'm playing artifacts, or actually I think this is a card that could pretty much go in anything. Because, you know, permanents are going to go into your graveyard. So it's easy for you to get 6 energy, and people never really expect this. And it was a card that used to be really expensive, but if you can get one, I'd say get it now and play with it. It's really fun. Cards like this, mini chaos, totally fun. There's my Tithe, need it in Mardu. Make my commander unblockable, get in, draw some cards. This is a really good card in an artifact deck. A lot of people don't see this one coming. Generally, I won't make servos with a deck like this, and I'll let the counters go on the Marionette Master because we have other artifacts coming in, so we don't really need the servos. Whenever I play an artifact deck and I have a scrap trawler, I think I bought enough boxes that I can have this art all the time because I really hate the other art. Fancy Aurelia. If I'm doing a lot of combat steps, that works out. Yeah, just make my artifacts cheap, put them out. You've all seen an artifact deck. See, I try to sneak it in when I can. It's just fun late game. A lot of people are going to use their enchantment removal on something more scary than this. Like the Bant enchantments are way scarier than a red one. This one's pretty fun, I remember. I haven't played it in a while. What sleeves do I have on here? Ultra Pro. Another fun card. I think it came in the same set as Chaos Wand. Good removal. If I can, I wonder if I have cards in the deck. I probably do. That when it ran out of charge counters, I would get rid of it and then bring it back and with a fresh set of 3. So easy removal. What I think is a underrated white card, Oketra's Mercy. When you go long game, you're low in life. You've been paying life for Timna to draw cards. This lets us get back up to 40. I don't really care about my lands not untapping. It's only a 3-mana spell. It might be the only spell I cast on the turn. Who cares? Or I have artifacts to pay mana. Skull Clamp, All-Star. So cards like Golden Welder, it's going to let me get my wand back, my Chaos Wand back, Transmogrifying Wand back, stuff like that. Godo, I might have Godo and... I got Traxos. I don't think I would have Godo and... Oh, this came up in price recently. Yeah, I knew it. I've got Godo and Helm of the Host just in case. Sometimes games just need to end. And if I haven't done a lot, and this is also a card I love to put in, whenever I'll play it, I'll go to my phone and I'll put on the Pirates theme, Pirates of the Caribbean. Great card, hard to find. This could be a win con too. You've seen it. So yeah, this one, I can get a Kiri big enough to do commander damage. And if that doesn't work, I will go with this one. So this one, I'd say at least a 6 out of 10 just because this is in it. If you don't know how this works, just Google it. You just get a ton of combat subs. Who next? Only 5 left. Let's go with Alayla. Throne of Eldraine Brawl exclusive. Oh! This one I got an altar for because it was so fun. So here's the original. And here's the altar. I just think it's cool. I even got a foil altar. I just think it's pretty cool. If I like a deck enough, I'll get altars for it. I'm trying to do more. I try to use only like one guy. What do we got in here? It's more focused on enchantments and artifacts than fairies, but I've got a couple fairy lords and fairy protectors. So I've got the new one from Thuros here to make Pegasus when I cast enchantment spells because I've got a lot of them. Anything that gets things in the air. I've got new Athreos. I really like this. I'm trying to put this in a lot of more Orzhov stuff if I can. I just really like his ability. He sticks around. He's indestructible. I steal creatures. So I'll usually just put it on my commander just in case. There's my protection. She's just good because it makes it harder for you to kill my commander or any key creatures that come up. He's just cool because he gains me life. Because they're obviously we're making a lot of tokens, right? And he triggers off of Alayla. I don't remember what I'm grabbing with this. Let's learn together. Wow, I really added a bunch of new cards to this one. I think Zur will grab things like Authority of the Consuls just to slow down combat. Oh, foil. Or things like this. Yeah, I'll grab things like Ghostly Prison. Slow it down. Let me build up. This is a great card. You should try to play it if you can. Oh, I put a heal out in here. So as you can see, this one has a bit of a higher budget. Look, I even got fancy fairy tokens from Card Kingdom. Wow. Oh my gosh, this video is already at 48 minutes. I need to hurry up. I'm trying my best to make this one work in Commander. Not good as a Commander, good in an enchantment deck. I think this is probably one of the win cons. Turn all of my 1/1s into 4/4s. As long as I keep my engine going. I'm so glad they printed a card like Generous Gift. It's just basically a white... Oh my gosh. I'm so tired I cannot remember the name. Oh, that's really annoying. That's Alayla. I would say power level, she is 6 or 7. I apologize on low production value because I don't do this. But I think it's fun to do. Aminato. Gosh, there's a lot of A's. I hope there was less B's. Planeswalker. This one is all about top of my library manipulation. Oh, I have tokens. See, this is for my wand that I have in there, and zombies, angels, a shapeshifter? Okay. This is a big flicker deck. I'm trying to remember her. I think I might be putting things on my opponent's battlefield and then exiling it because it's exiling permanents you own and return it to your battlefield. There's my wand. So things like miracles, if I can, I try to put them on the top, get those sweet abilities. This one I must care about because I have a heuristic study in it. I'll have to play this one again soon so I remember how to do it. Here's the thing though, I don't really care if I remember or not how to play it. Everyone loves this card. But I don't think I have any recent additions. It looks just like generic. Yeah, it's generic. Bounce things. I think eventually I get to her ultimate and then switch the board around, and if anybody has any good board, I steal from them. And then I can use her again to bring my stuff back. I am more of a combat kind of guy, so I think I just built this one because I bought all the commanders. And I was like, well, I gotta build one, so let's do it. Let's do one of my first decks, Alesha Graveyard. This is a, sorry. This is a hint that I have another Alesha deck because it's not just Alesha. But this is one of my first ones I built. It was really hard to get foil because my local store didn't have it, so I had to go to like a Grand Prix or something to get it for like a 75-cent card. But this one I know, fill the graveyard as fast as I can, attack, get something big. I might have taken, which you would probably know, a good card for this is Master of Cruelties, which I think I took out because it just wasn't as fun. So I probably have a Smothering Tithe in here. It's probably one of my newest additions. Cards like Peacekeeper coming back. Creatures cannot attack. Slow to board down. Have a 5/5 come in. Make some zombies. This one's great. This one's great because it comes in as a 0/2 and I can pay any amount of life to get it that much +1/+1. And it comes out of nowhere and can kill people. Love this card in this deck. There he is, yeah. I did keep him in. Master of Cruelties, he's probably the card you think of when you think of Alesha. A lot of people, I don't know if they really use this card a lot, but it's actually really good in this. It comes in and generally I'll get it in early and it'll immediately flip. which will automatically create a legendary enchantment, prevent all damage that we dealt to creatures you control. So it's really hard to remove your creatures after that. Try to put Gonti in a lot of my black decks. He's fun. Mardu, I think I needed to put Chromatic Lantern because it should be in a deck like this. That's fairly recent. Oh, this was one of my favorite decks at the time. So I think I put this was an invention. It's not a masterpiece. It's an invention. Give it hexproof. Why not? Looks fancy. What else we got here? This one can be fairly quick to win, depending on the number of opponents. I mean, honestly, it could probably use a bit of an update. I haven't touched it in a while. Nothing crazy. It's just, you're doing you just try to do the same thing every turn. You get your sack outlet down, Altar of Dementia, get my Master of Cruelties out, sack him if I need to, if someone tries to target him, and bring him back out on the next combat. I mean, 6 out of 10. If I upgraded it more, make it faster mana, it could be a 7 or an 8, but I don't need that. So I'll go with the second Alesha Goblins. Less effective, more fun. You've already seen the commander. Oh, this is slippery. Which one is this? These are Katanas. Tried them for a few decks. Really slippery. Not a big fan. Oh, but I cared enough to put... Did I? No. Okay. I mean, he might as well be in, right? Gotta win some way. Oh, okay. I guess I put some fancy lands in here. So cards like this, I think, is what I was going for. I probably got sack outlets in here so that I can get them back, get new ETBs, and they'll come in big with my lords. Yeah, there's my sack outlet. And then new Pashalik Mons. I just tried to go Goblin Tribal. Goblin Tribal, if you let it get out of hand, it grows really fast. I probably got like Goblin Bombardment in here too. Give them Vigilance and Lifelink is good. Maru is pretty good with goblins. Impact Tremors, win con basically. I wonder if I have a Perforos in here. Did I care enough? There's my Smothering Tithe, need it in Mardu. This is a win con. If you do a big attack, end step trigger, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. That's really good. Obviously, you need Krenko in a Goblin deck. Duh. Krenko, I believe, was my first commander deck. You'll see him in K. Goblin Bombardment, win con. Goblin King, love it. Win con. As long as my opponents have board wipes, it sort of holds this deck off. But if they don't, if they're only playing a lot of single removal, I will eventually overtake them. 5 or 6, not crazy, not super fast, but you need removal. Otherwise I will come and destroy. And the last one is a deck that I actually thought was stolen, and it was not. Ayara. I converted my Balthor zombie deck into Ayara because she's really good with ETBs. And she's a sack outlet on the board. I'm super happy I found that. So obviously, any foils? Yeah. Everyone has to have a mono black zombie deck. But I think so it's generic mono black zombie, but I've probably got other cards. Oh yeah, all the swamps in this deck are white border. I just think it looks cool. Good contrast. But I think I have other token makers like this, because why not? You're getting a trigger every time a black creature enters under your control, so I've also got stuff like that. And I don't really care if things go to graveyard because I've got cards like Unearth, things that bring them back. I've probably got Living Death in here. This guy cares about cards in graveyards. Like, black is so simple. Get big mana, flood the board, get a Gary out, make tokens, buff them up. Probably one of the new cards is Witch's Cottage. Well, I guess Ayara is from that set too. Got an altar in here. I think that's an infinite combo with Gravecrawler. Yeah, you just need this, Gravecrawler, and Ayara, and I think you win. You've got her out, sack the Gravecrawler, add the mana, play the Gravecrawler, as long as you have a zombie, so I guess you need another thing. And you just got infinite ATBs. Yeah. So that's a win con. I'm trying to put Piper the Swarm in things that care about tokens because he's actually not bad. Sack 3 rats, gain control of a creature. He's pretty good. 2 mana. Why not? Just go for it. So this is the old commander. I actually managed to find the cool altar, or not altar, but like foil of that. He's still a boss in the deck. He works better in the 99, whether he's coming in the graveyard. If he's on the battlefield, generally I'll win the game. There's Living Death, obviously. Like, you've all probably seen a zombie deck, and you've seen how they work. That's probably a win con. This one's super fun to play. You all know how resilient zombies are. And that does it for all the A's. I hope I don't have as many B's, but I feel like I will. This is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's only 15 decks here. Of 170-ish. I'm exhausted. Hopefully the next one I can go a little bit faster. This one I just sort of filled up a glass of wine and went for it. But hopefully you guys are interested in it. If you really wanted to see more of another one from this list, just let me know on Facebook and I'll try to get one typed out. But just pause it on the video, really, if you need to read it or need ideas. We can always talk about it. Facebook or this Commander community is more of a discussion thing. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And I hope you enjoyed. Okay, thank you.